These are rules that I've developed since starting my career over 19 years ago working for one of the largest advisory teams here in New York City for Oppenheimer. I have found that if you can follow all these 7 rules, your probability of having a successful retirement will go up dramatically. We talked about rule number 1, avoid large losses. Rule number 2 is to make sure you transition from a stage 1 to stage 2 portfolio. Rule number 3 is significantly reduce your volatility. Rule number 4 is earn a reasonable rate of return, a competitive rate of return without the excessive risk. Rule number 5 is manage your taxation. Rule number 6 is understand your fees. And rule number 7 is make sure you have a written retirement income plan. It's amazing to me how many people come through to us that don't have any written retirement income plan. So let's see how this all works. Let's go into our hypothetical case study with Bob and Carol. Bob and Carol are both age 65. They retired 2 years ago. Bob's an engineer, Carol's a state employee. Carol's got a pension of $24,000 and they're both taking Social Security. $26,000 for Carol, $28,000 for Bob. They've saved $1.6 million, which they're not using. They want to travel a lot, but they're worried. They're worried about the market being so high and losses. They're worried about money running out. They're worried about taxes, fees. They're worried about the beneficiaries, the daily volatility, the low returns. They've had a broker for over 22 years, really nice guy who they like, but they've never had a written plan and they want one. So the first step we did with Bob and Carol is we did a fee analysis. We wanted to show them how much they are actually paying for the investments. And they thought they were paying about 1%, but when we tallied it all up, it turned out they had about $200,000 in stocks that the broker was managing. They're paying 1.25%. They had another $1 million in managed money with that broker, all in cost 2.92%. Then they had a variable annuity for $380,000 being charged 4.61%. They had $20,000 in the bank at 0 fees. All in on that $1.6 million, they're paying 3.08% in fees annually, or about $49,000 per year. Next, we did a risk audit. We wanted to show them how much risk is in their portfolio today. To do this, we brought in a third-party research firm to objectively tell them on a dollars and cents basis how much risk is in there. And what we found out that if the market dropped 53% like it did in 2008, Bob and Carol would have suffered a loss of $790,000. So on that $790,000, if they suffer a 49.4% loss, they would now need a 97.5% recovery gain to get back to even, right? So the $1.6 million loses $790,000, and to get back to the original $1.6 million requires a 97.5% recovery gain. That's before fees, before taxes, and before distributions. We took that same $1.6 million, we reallocated it, and we were able to get their fees down from 3% to about 1%. So instead of paying $49,000 in fees, they're paying $17,000 in fees. So in this case, we're able to save them about $32,000 per year in fees. If you compound that over 20 years, you can see that adds up to significant savings. What's even better than that is we're able to dramatically reduce their risk from 49% down to 9.4%. Now, we didn't eliminate their risk, but by getting it down to 9.4%, if we do suffer a loss of $150,000, we now only need a recovery gain of 10.3%. Ask yourself, which one is more realistic for us to achieve, a 97% recovery gain or a 10% recovery gain? Once we had the assets reallocated, we got the fees down, we got the risk down, then we did an income plan. They wanted to see where the income was going to come from. And we used the same $1.6 million reallocated between the buckets. And you can see for the first year, we're going to generate $138,000 in income between the pension and the Social Security in the red bucket. And we set this up in a way so that we can grow it every year to keep up with inflation. So by age 70, they're going to grow now from $138,000 of income to $150,000 of income. Well, once they saw that, they felt more content, but then their next question was, wait a minute, we don't want to get killed with taxes. So step 3, we did a tax projection for them. We said this year we're going to bring in $138,000 of income, and the way that works is about $129,000, $900 would be taxable, given the way that Social Security is taxed. They're going to have a standard deduction. They're going to have taxable income of about $105,000. They're going to pay $20,000 between federal and state taxes, which gives them an effective tax rate of 15%, which is a lot lower than they thought they were going to pay, meaning they get to keep 85% of their money. So all in for next year, we're going to generate $11,500 per month of gross income for Bob and Carol, minus federal and state taxes of about $1,700, leaves them with $9,800 per month free and clear in the bank account, net after tax income. They had a budget of $7,500, and in this case, we're able to create excess cash flow of over $2,300 per month. On an annual basis, it's going to be close to $28,000 per year in excess cash flow. Think about that. What could you do with an extra $2,300 per month in income, or $28,000? Well, you can go on an extra trip, you can buy a car, you can help out the grandkids, or you can just put it in the bank account and use that as a cushion for any future unexpected expenses. Well, once Bob and Carol kind of saw that we got the risk down, we got the fees down, we got the income plan in place, and we have enough net after-tax income above and beyond their budget, The next question was, well, wait a minute, what about the kids? What about our beneficiaries? So the last step was we did a legacy analysis, and we showed them what would be left over either for the kids, the charities, or if they need to pay for long-term care, how they're going to self-fund this. So we said by age 85, we'll be pulling about $68,000 worth of income off their assets. That does not include the pension or Social Security. That's just off the $1.6 million they gave us. And cumulatively, we'll have drawn over $1.37 million of income at that stage. And they'll still have a portfolio worth $1.2 million. They'll have $129,000 in the bank. They'll have the house worth $1.6 million. So even after taking $1.37 million of income off the portfolio and spending it, they'll still have an estate worth over $3 million. We asked them, is that sufficient for the kids? Is that enough to pay for any unexpected expenses? Is that enough to fund any long-term care needs? So if you're like Bob and Carol, and you're saying, well, we saved it, but we don't understand it, you need to have a written retirement income plan. A written retirement income plan is the single most powerful tool to help you get the most out of your money in retirement. I want to thank you for joining us. I hope you found this series helpful. These are the 7 rules for retirement security. In my experience, if you follow these 7 rules, these will give you the highest probability for having a successful retirement. If you want to learn more about how we use these rules to put together individual custom plans for each of our clients, feel free to reach out to us and schedule a one-on-one discovery call.